Fayik, thank you so much for joining us today. Well, tell us a bit about the conditions, the course, everything, how they treated you up in Yabuli, and what was the snow like?
So the snow was very grippy. You'd hear the athletes say it's like super glue. It's super dry, so the ski reacts really, really quick and really well. It takes some time to getting used to, but once you're used to it, I think it can be, let's say, very easy snow to adjust to. And then, of course, the organization was great. This wasn't my first experience at a big event in China. Obviously, being at the 2022 Winter Olympics, I'm familiar with how they organize and welcome everyone. So it was nice to be back in China. And what was really nice this time is that I was able to experience it more.
Well, you mentioned Beijing 2022. At those games, you made history for Saudi Arabia as the country's first Winter Olympian. You got to bear the flag at the opening ceremony. Here, you did the same. You're flag bearer again for the opening ceremony at your first Asian Winter Games, but this time your team was a lot bigger, right? You had 8 athletes, I believe, here. You got the men's curling team plus 2 other alpine skiers. Is it Jude Farhoud and Sharif Al-Sudari, also competing with you? So what was it like being part of a team this time? And tell us about that opening ceremony experience.
Well, it was great to have teammates this time. Beijing was a little bit lonely, being the only athlete. I definitely felt the pressure that time around, but it was nice to be able to share, this experience with other Saudis, it being Saudi's first time at an Asian Winter Games. So I hope that throughout the years we see the number of Saudis in winter sports and in sports in general to grow. And yeah, it was nice to see the ladies, make history as well and be the first woman to represent Saudi at the Asian Winter Games.
How has your experience been sort of in general, from just arriving, treatment, the hospitality, everything? What do you think of just Harbin and the games they put on?
It's been very smooth, to be honest with you. Everyone's really supportive. I came from Yabuli to here with 5 bags, so on the train. So you can imagine that sounds hectic, but being in China, it's actually a lot more straightforward than you think. Everyone was helpful. Helping me haul my 5 bags through the train stations. So yeah, it's been great from when we got here to now. So I'm really happy with this experience, and I'm sure all the athletes will relate to that.
Well, you are a huge reason for winter sports growing. I mean, every federation, every sport wants their sport to grow. And the example of this alpine skier from Saudi Arabia competing first in the Winter Olympics, and now you're here at the Asian Winter Games, you're literally breaking new ground for not just your country, but for the sport in general. And of course, the next Asian Winter Games will be hosted in Saudi Arabia in 2029. I understand that you were part of the bid process for that. Can you please tell us what that was like, what it was like when your country was chosen to host those games, and just the growth of winter sports in Asia?
So the bid was actually, very interesting experience for me. Having been part of that team was obviously an honor and a privilege. At the same time, I was a little bit surprised, but when I first started to understand the concept, it made a lot of sense to me. And I was really, really happy and a bit emotional from the inside when I found out we had won the bid. And the night before the bid, I had trouble sleeping. Didn't really rehearse my speech that much. I was just wanted to step up and just take a deep breath and go for it. So yeah, it was definitely a great experience. But I think more importantly, I'd like to see obviously more Saudis take up winter sports and sport in general. I think that's really my biggest purpose, being a pioneer in winter sports specifically. So I would feel bad if by the time I'm done with skiing, we don't have a next generation of alpine skiers or winter sports athletes in general. So I really hope I can inspire and encourage more people from Saudi and the region to pick up winter sports and really give it their best shot.
Well, I believe you turned pro in 2021. You, of course, made your Olympic debut in Beijing 2022. Now you're here representing the country again. So do you have some fans back home? Do you have little kids either looking up to you, recognizing? Do you have people writing to you or talking about taking up skiing because of you?
I mean, from time to time, but for me, what I'm really hopeful for is that I'm able to inspire more people to be more active, to take up sports. Doesn't have to be winter sports. And to be honest, it doesn't have to be sports at all. It can be just something that gives you, fulfillment and happiness in life. So I think that whether it's art, reading, writing, I just encourage people to follow their heart, do what they love, and if it's sport, great. If it's not sports, also great. But yeah, I mean, just being able to inspire people from all over the world, specifically Saudi, means a lot. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be in this position.
So here in Harbin, we talked about already your team. This time you came with 7 other athletes, I believe, right? You've got the 5 on the men's curling team and then 2 more alpine skiers. What winter sports are gaining traction in Saudi Arabia? Is there anything that you hear people talking about picking up? Is it ice sports, particularly indoor rinks? What's popular there?
It really depends. I think we have a lot of people from Saudi who travel abroad to ski and snowboard. So automatically that has some traction. But obviously, I think the potential for us in ice sports might be higher since it could be a lot more accessible for us living in Saudi. I do believe we have some ice skaters and a hockey team. So I'm looking forward to see that number grow throughout the years.
Do you have any idea right now how many sports Saudi Arabia is hoping to compete in when they host the games in 2029?
I hope all the sports. I'm not sure off the top of my head how many sports will be at the next Asian Winter Games, but I hope we're competing in every single sport.
Well, I certainly can't let you go without asking about the next Winter Olympics. You already said it there, Milan-Cortina in 2026. As you say, you're on the cusp of qualifying. What are your goals for those games? Do you already have an eye out for competing there?
Of course, what I'm really excited about is that I'm skiing at a much better level than I was at the previous Olympics. So it's going to be really interesting to see where I fare compared to the guys, and I'm going to give it my best shot. I have nothing to lose, and I think it's just good preparation for me, and just gives me an idea of where I am and what I need to improve on moving forward.
Fayik, thank you so much. If you ski as well as you speak, you're going to do tremendously. You put on a really polished. Great. Thank you so much. Very well done. And good luck. We'll be watching your results with eager eyes, eager anticipation. Thank you so much, Fayik. Thank you.